Governor.
I'm fine, but I'm early for my shift, so I'm not taking any questions.
You are
right
early.
now. Talk amongst yourselves.
You don't want to ask about Hillary being the VP for your guy, Barack Obama?
Well, that's his and her decision to make. But as I think Barack Obama put it very nicely the other day, maybe yesterday, when he said she'd be on anybody's short list. She's an extraordinary person, an extraordinary candidate, and she's been a tenacious candidate as well.
Jimmy Carter, President of the United States, said it would be a disaster if Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama were on the same ticket. Is he right?
I'm not going to express an opinion.
Do you have an opinion?
I have an opinion, but I am not going to express that opinion. Yeah. And I'll tell you why. First of all, I think, and you know this, and your listeners do, there are strong feelings and thoughtful ones on both sides of this question. There is a broad field, fortunately, of very strong Democrats who could serve ably as a vice presidential campaign, and I think that that Senator Obama as the nominee and Senator Clinton as the potential candidate for vice president, and in her own right, deserve the respect and deference to let them sort it out. And so I'm not going to express.
Have you talked to him since Tuesday night, Obama?
No, I'm going to talk to him, I think, later today.
Hold on for 1 second. Now, I understood, and since you're here, you could answer this in person, that there was a rumor circulating that the source of the quote about the Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, White House with the course bill, that the source of the menage a trois quote was our own Governor Deval Patrick. That's not true?
The who?
This would be a menage a trois.
It's a Dick Morris column talking about if you get Hillary, unfortunately, you get Bill as well. How'd you feel? Serious. I want to ask you. No, seriously.
I told you I'm not on duty yet.
Yeah,
wait till 1 o'clock.
We heard that was the governor, but he's denying it, Jim.
Two
He's on the record. He's denying it.
You definitely did not hear
You didn't
that.
like talking at all about being the second black governor in American history until you were the second black governor. I mean, you avoided the questions all the time. I mean, and then you spoke pretty much from the heart. What did you think the other night when that guy took the stage and at the beginning of his speech said, thanks to you and people like you, whatever he said across America, I am the nominee of the Democratic Party for President of the United States. What did it feel like to you?
I thought this is an amazing country. It made me feel proud as not just as an African American, but as an American. There is something about his candidacy, and in a very much smaller way, my own a couple of years ago, which is a challenge. And I think that the American people responded to that challenge by not ignoring race, but transcending it. That's by saying that there are other qualities or additional qualities that are more important to us today than that. And they have a whole lot to do with the ability to unite us and to help us see common cause, which I think is going to be absolutely essential to addressing any of the big challenges ahead of us.
But don't you think at the same time, and I have to say I am not one who thought America was ready for a black nominee for the presidency in 2008, wrong yet again, that David Brooks column the other day, speaking to in the New York Times, speaking to some pollster, said Americans know only two things about Barack Obama. It was not a criticism, it was a statement of that pollster's sense of reality. One, that he is the candidate of change, whatever that means, and two, he's the one who sat in Reverend Wright's church for 20 years, and most people, including me, think the Reverend Wright is half about the patriotism issue and half about race. So isn't there some bad news in this campaign as well on the racial front?
Well, it's funny you say bad news. He just won the nomination.
No, I understand that.
See, I think it's pretty good news. But look, if you're asking me whether I think race has vanished from the consciousness of American voters, no, I don't think it has. I don't think it has here in the Commonwealth. But the point I'm making is that not that people ignored race, but that a majority of voters transcended it. And I think a majority of Americans are ready to transcend it. You know, we rarely give the American people credit for how ready they are to accept the leadership they need in whatever form it may come. I mean, there were lots of people who said that America was not ready for a woman president, and look at the candidate who emerged as the principal competitor through the end. An extraordinary candidate with an extraordinary background, and ran a very compelling race. So I understand there's a lot of conventional wisdom out there. I'm not saying you're conventional thinker.
Never.
But,
I know you never said that.
there's a lot of conventional wisdom out there, and a lot of sort of reductionism about and oversimplification about the way the American people think about whom they wish to have lead them and why. But I think these are very unconventional times, and these are very unconventional candidates who step forward, and I thank God for that.
Wouldn't you love to see him to accept McCain's offer and go out and do these 10 town hall meetings across the country? Would that not be a great thing for American democracy?
Extraordinarily powerful.
I love it.
And I think he's open to that.
I think he is. That's Deval Patrick. He is the governor of the Commonwealth. Got here a couple minutes early. We'll take a break. Ed Cherubino will do a brief news thing, and then Ask the Governor starts right after that.